Good evening and welcome to another Brantron deep dive video. What's cooking, everybody? Hope you're having a great day. Minus the insanely expensive gas prices, but that's not the topic for this video. We're talking about my new song. I'm about to go XXY up circle on your ass, and we're going in deep. Hey, like I'm talking like on a microscopic level, dude. Like we're going in. First off, thank y'all for listening to the new song like as much as y'all are. If we get a live update here, the song is currently at 8,000 plays. What? Not only that, what the fuck? But it brought my monthly listeners from 100 to 5,315. Like, just insane. Like, thank y'all for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So in this video, we're going to be talking about influences, creative direction of the song, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to be showing y'all how to play the riffs. I'm going to have the guitar on me, and we're going to dive into that. Then lastly, we're going into the DAW, and I'm going to show you all the nooks and crannies and the layers and the plugins and like how I made this thing. And I'm going to show you how to do the pew pew pews. Side note, if you do 1, 2, 3, like 1, 2, 3, stop watching this video. So influences. The first one and the most apparent, the one that everyone keeps telling me about in the comments, just like, so it's like this band, so it's like this band, so it's like this band. Yes, it's like Car Bomb, but it's like different, okay? Car Bomb is my all-time favorite band ever, like 100%. So yes, the Car Bomb influence is very apparent. It's right there, mainly in the pew pew pews. So prior to joining the band that I'm in now, Dissonation, I've never really done a whole lot of the guitar automation stuff in the DAW as far as like pitch shifting is concerned. So when I was first learning all the Dissonation material, I made a Reaper session and I made 2 tracks. One track was all the songs, and then the other track was my guitar track that I was playing into, you know, and it had all of the automation set, like the -5, the -3, the -12, whatever it was. I went in and drew in all those automations. It was at that moment I realized, like, oh shit, I can make my guitar sound fucked up, dude. So if you want to see how I made the pew pew pews like right now, since we're on this topic, the timestamp for that is right here. Another big influence for me with this song was a band from a long time ago called Hunab Ku. Does anybody know about them? This band was like truly bizarre. They were mathy, they were techie, they had some sort of like Mike Patton influence in there with the vocals and the instrumentation. They were one of the main reasons why I got the Chaos Pad, this guy. Like, huge band for me. Their EP, The Rewiring Process, is one of my favorite things to happen in music. And if you haven't heard it, stop this video, go listen to it. But then come back. Like, come back. Please. Please come back. Please. Please. Aside from those 2 bands, I'm a big tech death nut, right? The Faceless, Zenith Passage, Surreption, like, that's my shit, dude. As of lately, my creative motto has been go full weird. And what does that mean to me? I think with extreme music, right, definitionally, it's supposed to be uncomfortable. It's supposed to be challenging. It's supposed to just make you go, the fuck am I listening to? Like, and it seems like with a lot of metal bands, there's this overwhelming pressure to play it safe. To play it safe within the genre tropes, to play it safe in terms of production choices, to play it safe in terms of arrangement choices, to play it safe in terms of all of this stuff. And in my own creative process, I'm really just tired of adhering to any of those rules. This notion of going full weird is something that I really connect with on a personal level because when I was growing up, I was diagnosed with autism at age 2. I haven't talked about this in a video yet, by the way, so here it is. Diagnosed with autism at age 2, and from ages 2 to 4, I was getting applied behavioral analysis, speech therapy, and occupational therapy 40 hours a week for that 2-year-long period. So this is a very real thing. It wasn't like a self-diagnosis. This was like the early 90s. Like nobody was talking about autism yet. So my entire life, I've straddled this kind of line of be yourself, but don't do that. That's too weird, right? And then I would ask, well, why can't I do that? Or why can't I do this way? And then they'll just go, I don't know, just don't. So this is kind of a response to that voice in my head that says, dial it back, don't freak anyone out, don't do anything too weird. Yeah, I'm just done listening to that voice in my head now, because I found that with my own music, the more I leaned into a weird idea or did something this kind of oddly specific way, I found that it worked. So yeah, I'm doing it my way from now on. Is this the part where I just bust out in song? I did it my way. So for the musicians out there that are watching this video, listening, enjoying the new song, I would hope that this can be a motivator for you to put out that weird idea, ignore the voice in your head that says, reel it back, or don't do anything to like stand out. Like stand out, be weird, go full weird. So when you're sitting there and you're writing a song and you're pondering to yourself going, which riff should I use next? Go with the weird riff automatically. Make life interesting. Because none of this fucking matters, right? We're on a floating rock flying through space. And you're thinking to yourself, I should have my song be a little bit more accessible. Just like, who the fuck cares, dude? Just like, we only have so much time on this flying rock through space. Just make stuff that you like and enjoy music. Like, what the fuck? So we're in a really cool spot right now where weirdo music like the Polka Dot Band can have their own listenership, right? Why can't you? So take that weirdo, what the fuck, off the wall idea that you have and put it out there, because you never know if someone else is going to like it. So the song title, I'm about to go XXY up circle on yo ass. Clearly inspired by video games, right? Which you might be asking, is XXY up circle an actual combination to an actual game? No, it isn't. I just made it up. On the topic of video games, I've been playing a lot of Sonic Shadow Generations, and it's the best goddamn Sonic video game I ever played in my goddamn life, I tell you what. That right there is a goddamn banjo guitar. Anyway, we're having fun. Okay, so let's talk about the riffs. Surprisingly, this tune only has 4 riffs. That's it. Tuning-wise, we are in drop A on a 7-string, and then tone-wise, I'm using the archetype Gojira. First riff is sort of a tremolo guy. So let's talk about how I'm doing that tremolo. It's a trick that I learned from Troy Grady. If you aren't familiar with his channel, please check out his stuff. It's like a right-hand guitar technique Bible. Like, it's fucking insane. Anyway, the technique is like this. You stick out your wrist, you limp it down like this, and then you flick toward the pinky. And it gives you this really aggressive tremolo sound. So let's talk about the notes. We have the open A string. Then on that same string, we play the 13th fret, a B flat, and then we go up to the other A string, and then we play the 16th fret. So far that's right? And then we do a big old death leap down to 5th position. Then we play on the low string, 5, and then we jump up, play 8. Then we go down a fret on the same string, play the E, and then we skip back down to the low A string, 4, and then down again to the B flat on the 1st fret. So note-wise, I'll spell all those out for you. So A, B flat, C sharp, and then D, F, E, C sharp, B flat. So it does all of that 4 times, and then that's the opening section. And next, we have the pew 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 riff. So the pew 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 is just two harmonics. It's 4th fret of the D and 5th fret of the G. Just play them together. Sounds really gross, right? Just do that 5 times in a row. Pew 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 pew. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the computer does the rest. So here are the rest of the little parts in between. So we have starting on the upper A string, then going down to the lower A string. It's just a diminished run. Just going down. So that's 6, 3, 0, then 6, 3, 0. Simple. So next is the little tremolo part. So that's 4th fret of the E string down to the 3rd fret of the low A string. Just play them right next to each other. So the tail is kind of a tongue twister. So let's break that down. It's sort of a hybrid picking kind of thing. If you don't know what hybrid picking is, it's involving the pick and then this finger. So slower. So you're really only dealing with the 4th fret and the 3rd fret. So there's a pull, a skip, another skip, then another pull. So the last part of the tail is 2 augmented triads. And it involves more hybrid picking, but now it's the pick, the middle finger, and the ring finger. So it's pick, pluck, pluck, slide, pluck, pick. Left hand wise, starting in the E string, we have 4, then up a string to 3, then up a string to 2. We take that same shape, slide it down a half step, and that's the other part. So the first part, the other part. If that's uncomfortable, just loop it, and it'll eventually get there. It's kind of a cool riff in and of itself. Then next we have the trippy, spacey, breakdown, what the fuck part. So the really fast chugs are like this. So a way that I sort of figured that out was you think of it as sort of 2 different movements, right? So you have the initial flurry, and then you have the thumb to sort of reset it. The next is the thal, techie, chicken picking kind of thing. So let's talk about the notes. First, we're starting off on the D string, 5th fret. And then we jump up to the B string, 7th fret. And then we jump down to the A string, 6th fret. It's like a little bend in there, thal style, you know? And then from there, we go down to the 3rd fret on the A string. Then we slide down to 2. And then we jump up on the D string to 5, slide up to 6. And then we go down to the E string to the 3. And then we go power chord style up to the A string, 5th fret. And then we slide up to the 6th fret. So then note-wise, we're dealing with G, F sharp, E flat, C, B, G, A flat, G, D, E flat. So then the last little part is just diminished. So let's break that down. It's 2, 5 on the low A, then up a string, 4th fret, up a string, 2nd fret, and then we play that exact same pattern backwards, up 3 frets. And then you end on the tremolo on the 7th fret of the E. And that's the whole breakdown riff. Woo! We're almost done. Lastly, we have the tapping part. So I'll break it down like this. 4th position, pentatonic box. We all know it, right? So then from there, tap the 11th fret on each string. So we're only dealing with the top 4 strings for this entire thing. So then from there, you just string skip. Same pattern, 1 string over. Then from there, we do the exact same pattern up 2 frets. So the first pattern. Next pattern. Then the last part is like sus2 shape kind of stuff. Really slow. If you want the tabs, hit the 4th wall link in the description. Okay, so here we have the Reaper session. So I used to use Pro Tools, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. If you want to hear what that sounds like, go listen to Future Grind. But I switched over to Reaper. I learned how to use VSTs for the first time, and it like completely changed my shit in terms of recording. So yeah, Reaper, big fan. So here are all the tracks that I have. Decent amount of stuff, not huge, right? So let's start with vocals. I have 2 tracks, both mono. The first track is most of it, and then the second one is just the growl at the end. So then we have the metal drums. So I have the same template set up for like every Brantron session that I'm doing, and this is always there. So all I did was took the piano roll, and I found a whole bunch of samples on Splice that I really liked. Some minor cymbals, a nice triggery sounding kick, a good snare, higher pitched, of course. It's my personal taste. And put them all together. And then there's this little EQ thing at the end here that sort of takes away some of the low end of the kick, like the real rumbly shit. And it's really it for the metal drums. Then we have 2 channels here for the electronic drums. And I call them Amen Dry and Amen Glitch. So it's all based on the Amen break, right? So what I did to record these was I used the Korg Volca sample to find a loop that I liked. It's got all the Amen break one-shots programmed into it. And then I just organize them in different ways, find grooves that I like, and then record them straight into the DAW. So this is Amen Dry, right? And that's just the Korg Volca sample straight in. Plugin wise, I'm using the YALL analog compressor, and I got this thing like cranked. It's at like 70 gain. And then from there, we're going to Amen Glitch. So pretty much how this works, this line up here is what manipulates the audio, right? And then down here, you have all the different effects to apply to it. You have tape stop, modulator, retrigger, shuffler, reverser, crusher, gator, delay, and stretcher. Hey, yo! The ones that I definitely use the most are retrigger and shuffler, and then this one is crusher for sort of like a bit crush kind of thing. I'll have the link for this in the description as well. Free plugin. It's great. So then we have guitars. We have a left and a right. I got a mid boost on here. And then both of them are running Archetype Gojira. Here are my settings for it. And then the compression is right here at the end, just a little bit. I'll show y'all how I did the pew pew pews. So this purple line that you see right here, that represents pitch, right? So what I did, zoom, 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 zoom. I went in and hand drew all of the pitch automations there. So as you can see, it kind of looks like it sounds, right? Pew, 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 pew. 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 Right? Simple, silly little trick. That's how I did it. From there, we go down, down, down. We have a little bit of clean guitar. This happens during the breakdown part. There's like a little sus chord interruption there. That's just happening here. And then the lead guitar, that is the tappy section that we talked about. And that is also Archetype Gojira. Different settings though. Here are my settings for this. We're using Rich Lead from, where is this from? From Lee McKinney at Born of Osiris. Shout out. I was going to use the Valhalla Supermassive, another great free plugin, but it just didn't quite work, right? There's that sort of tail end of the tappy part that leads right into the clean, soft part.
Hey, yo!
That feels like the rug is sort of being pulled out from underneath you. And the last note of the tapping thing leaked over into the clean part in a way that I just didn't really find flattering. So I turned this off. But if you want like a really good free reverb plugin, check this out. I'll have the link in the description for this too. So from here we have the bass, and I put the key bass and the bass guitar in the same track. I don't know why. It's just kind of how I did it. Maybe like for the sake of sonic consistency. I don't know. But that's how I did it. It gets really choppy up here because I was doing a lot of like individual punches with the keyboard part because it was like sort of weird and hard to play. Just figured it would be cleaner, you know? Then the bass goes all the way through there. There's like the big fade in that happens during the section that feels like the rug is being pulled out from underneath you. And then all of that same sort of stuff on the way out. Then that's the bass. This is the bass guitar that I used. As you can see, it's very green. It's made by Jackson. And the bass part sounds like this. You know, just a little funky whatever. So from there, we have a lot of synths. We have a left and right up here. Then we have 3 that are just mono. So the left and right pan stuff is mainly pads, right? And then when it gets over here, it's funny. So I could play the pads in the original key, but then when it like key changes up, like I couldn't reach those chords nearly as well. Like I'm not a keys player, you know? So I basically just like punched each individual chord in and then just like pieced them together that way. So you do what you got to do. All right, so here's what we got synth-wise on this song. We have the Roland JDXI, the Korg K-Oscillator, actually very heavily featured in the song. And then we have the Korg Volca sample. That's what holds all of the electronic drums. Side note, if any of this gear is interesting to you, be sure to check the Amazon gear list in the description of this video. So let's talk about the vocal section. The setting that I'm using on this is JP8 strings, and the chords go like this. So those are all pretty much just like triad over bass note disco chords. So it goes like this. It's B flat over C, then F over G, then C over D, G over A. And just for clarification, when I say B flat over C, that means it's a B flat triad over C. During that same section, you have 2 sort of auxiliary parts that go on top, right? So we have electric grand 1 here, and then it's just a G sus2 chord, the holiest of all chords. Then the little video gaming sound that happens is just the K-Oscillator, and that's S61, and you just press it in the bottom right corner and it makes this sound. Exactly what's on the song. Side note, all the sort of like swirly stuff that you hear in like the first blast beat section is also the K-Oscillator. It's at S72, and I just like swirl around on this shit. I swear to God, this thing is like therapy. Tickles your brain in the right way, you know? So for the Korg Volca sample, I don't know how to change time signatures on this, so here's what I did. The vocal section is in 7. I basically just did it in 4. I think the exact pattern was first 2 here. And then I just like cut off the tail end of it so it would fit within a 7/8 meter. So then another really important keyboard feature is the Rhodes that happens during the really quiet part. So all that is just, and then So those two chords are D major 7, first inversion, and then C sharp minor 7, root position. So as far as synth bass goes, like my go-to comes from this thing, and it's the MKS 50 bass 1. And during the part where the bass just sort of like emerges from the clouds or whatever, it sounds like this. You know. So then the last couple things are the gray tracks down here. The white monster's coming up to say hello. We have Noodle L and Noodle R. That's the part after the breakdown. There's like a little noodly guitar interruption, hence noodle, right? And then down here we have some cymbal swell, ear candy kind of stuff under swells. Then that's pretty much it. So that concludes another deep dive video. Thank y'all for watching so much. Be sure to follow me on all my other platforms. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment if you feel so inclined, and cheers to you. And don't forget to go full weird.